What's up everyone, it's Stevie and I'm back in Roblox Islands, and this is part 2 of my previous video. If you didn't watch my previous video with the auto maple farm or maple syrup auto farm, be sure to watch that before you jump into this one. Otherwise this won't make any sense. You'll have no idea what's going on. But this is a continuation from that. I'm going to be showing you how to make an automated berry pancake farm. So you can see right here, this is where we continued off. So this is part 2 again. Make sure you watch that before you jump into this one. So right here is the end of my maple syrup farm. So we're going to just go straight into this. So we're going to go and carry this down a little bit, and this is where the maple syrup is going to drop into. This is going to be a multi-part process, okay, because there's so much going on in order to be able to make pancakes. And then obviously if you want to make berry pancakes, you got even more steps. So I'm going to be showing you how to do this. So you can see right here, this is just the tube, and that's where they're going to drop onto that little conveyor down here. And then you can see they're just kind of flying out right now. So we need to get a little path here, and they're going to drop down one more notch onto another conveyor because we got to combine pancakes with syrup. We're going to block this so they don't keep flying out. So now they're going to just land on the conveyor and continue down. So on the other side here, in fact, we're not going to put it right here. Let's block that because it's going to become a problem. We're going to back it up a little bit. We're going to put a conveyor like right here. That way it drops right behind it. And this is going to be our pancake drop. So this is where our pancakes are going to be falling in, because we need to combine the maple syrup with pancakes in order to be able to make sweet pancakes. And then after that, we're going to combine sweet pancakes with essentially berries. So let's just go and cover this up because we don't, just a place for me to walk. And then this is going to be a little platform. We're going to use a merger for this part here, which will make sense in a little bit, but let's just put a platform here for now. It's just a placeholder. We'll come back to this in a second. So you can see these things are just falling right now. This is where we're gonna be combining. So we need a food processor right here because we're gonna be using a food processor to combine both the maple syrup bottles and the pancakes to make sweet pancakes. So the first part I'm showing you here is how to make sweet pancakes. There's our food processor. So you're gonna see, I'm gonna select sweet pancakes. I think it's at the top here. There they are. So that's berry. We're going to do that in a little bit. So first we need sweet pancakes, and that requires pancakes and maple syrup. And then we're going to continue from here. And the next step here is going to be combining blueberries and raspberries to make berry pancakes. So that's what these are going to be right here. So we're going to have 2 farms past this point. And so they're, we're going to have little drops right here. So the items are going to drop onto these conveyors. Let's just put a little border so things don't fall out. I like to border all of my stuff. I'll just border this. So on one of these sides, this side, we're going to have raspberries. The other side, we're going to have blueberries right here. This will be blueberries. And let's just build up around it. There we go. And then after this, we're going to have a food processor. But let's go ahead and keep building this right here. Pretty much those conveyors are going to be dropped onto. And there's our next food processor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select berry. I always forget it's at the top. Berry pancakes are next. Those are flanhorns. Here's berries. And you can see it requires raspberries and blueberries. So I've selected that. So that way, when we're ready for these, we'll be able to make those. For now, we're just going to be making sweet pancakes. So like I said, we're going to get to the berries in a moment. So let's just draw this out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to connect output chests on this. So if for any reason we have too many of these being produced, then we'd be able to capture them all. So I'll just put some output chests. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and cover this up just because we know this is coming. So we'll just block this in. All right, it's completely sealed in. I like to seal it in. So we're going to cover that stuff in a moment. Now what we need to do is our merger. So the output of the merger is going to connect to that conveyor right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to extend these sides. And I'll explain that in a second why we're doing this. You don't have to do this part, but it just gives us future expansion ability, especially since I have such a huge syrup farm. So let's go ahead and close this. A couple of conveyors here and then a couple of conveyors here because they're going to drop onto that. Hold on, it's too dark. There we go. It was way too dark. Okay, so it's going to drop right on. So the pancakes are going to drop straight onto these conveyors. We'll just block this in. And this is where the ovens are going to go. So we're going to be cooking the pancakes in these ovens. And we're going to put 4 of them just because I'm anticipating making a lot of pancakes. So I've got 4 ovens. You don't need this many. You probably only need 2, maybe even 1. If you only do 1, you don't need the merger. This is only if you're going to do something like what I'm doing. So I've got 4 ovens here. We got to power them with some coal. And there's our conveyors for our totems. And we just have to add the coal totems now. All right, so those are ready to go. They're going to be powered up shortly here. Now what we need to do is feed these with some dough. So uncooked pancakes, basically. So before this, we need a couple food processors. Like I said, if you don't do this, if you only do 1, you only need 1 food processor then. I'm doing 2. It's just how I'm doing it. So really up to you. So I'm going to put a randomizer on each of these. That way we can load balance. So we're going to put one right here because I'm only going to use 2 food processors. So I need to balance the food processor between these ovens. At first, it's going to be pretty slow. I won't even need these, but later on, they'll be super handy. So let's get the left turn here. So I'm just using left turns and then one right turn, and that's gonna push items to the second oven. So it's just gonna randomly place these, and hopefully it'll balance pretty nicely. So from here, we need food processors, and we only need 2 of them, like I said, because the food processors are gonna connect to these randomizers. There's 1, and here's 2. So these are both just making pancakes. And it requires 9 wheat, so obviously the next piece here, look at these are flying. Next piece here is we gotta make a wheat farm. So that's what this is gonna connect to right here, is we need to feed wheat to these food processors. So we're gonna extend the conveyors out, make it so you can see a little bit. I had to wait until daytime. It's really dark. I really hope the devs eventually add build mode. And now we do our typical funnel. You know, I do this all the time, just funnel it like this so they can't pop out like that. And then just put a little back wall right there, make a little plus sign. It's basically the little daisy. And then we tube it up or pipe it up. And this should be tall enough. So from here, we're just gonna expand this out, but you can see I'm just daisying it out. So we're gonna put a conveyor here, and then basically it's like I said, it's a plus sign. And then behind each of these, we're gonna be doing a totem, but we're also gonna put totems on the corners too. You'll see in a moment. All right, so I'm gonna pretty much expand this out. All right, so we're just gonna place the totems just like this. Any space that can touch a conveyor, you're gonna pretty much put a totem like that. And now we're gonna plow and plant. All right, so we got all our wheat down. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna try our best to upgrade some of these. I would say try to upgrade quality, efficiency. If I were gonna do anything, I'd probably do action speed. Wheat is pretty fast growing and you don't have that many totems, so you don't really need growth rate. But I'm just gonna go ahead and do these. And just do as many as you can. They do stack as well, so if you wanna place a bunch of them nearby. I didn't have enough materials to be able to upgrade all of these, but if you could, try to max them out. You're gonna have a crazy farm if you can max these out and have tons of them. They're just really expensive to upgrade. All right, so now we got our wheat farm going. You're gonna start seeing some pancakes coming through, and it's gonna be a little slow going because we only have 1 layer right now. Yeah, there's one right there, and it's gonna randomize, and then it's gonna merge, and it's pretty much done. So you can see here, we got way too much maple syrup, and we're gonna need a bigger farm because it's way too small currently. I mean, it's cooking, it's just too slow. So now we're gonna make the berry part. So what we need to do here is similar. We're gonna feed this up, and we gotta do the other side too. The typical daisy pipe like that. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with the turkey farm. So if you didn't know this yet, turkeys are required to be able to do raspberries. There's no such thing as a raspberry totem, okay? So raspberries do require turkeys to pluck. So the turkeys have to take the raspberries off the bush and then drop them into the industrial conveyor. Now, this is the only way you can get raspberries currently other than scaring them and getting them manually. So it's a really slow process. I'm going to show you this, but you can see right here, I'm basically making an auto farm essentially for raspberries. So we're going to cover this. This is just going to be wide enough for my 3. I've got 3 of these baskets, industrial baskets for raspberries, kind of like totems. And so we're going to line these up shortly here. You'll see where I'm going to place them. This looks pretty good. So we're going to place them right here. So let's grab those. Here's the industrial baskets. So I'm just gonna line them up right here. So what happens is the turkeys, once they eat and they're happy, they will drop raspberries in, or if you spook them, they can drop raspberries in. But I have a feeling they're gonna get stuck inside these stairs. So I'm gonna block this off so they can't fall in. We'll just block it all the way off. And you know what? I can block it even further. There's no reason for them to be on the conveyors. So I'm just gonna block the entire thing. They don't have to be on the conveyors themselves. All they got to do is lay on the basket. So now we need to box them in. So we're going to make a little farm. We don't need that many bushes. You only need maybe like 12 bushes tops. And so we're going to just make a little narrow area here. We're going to build the walls up, make them really high so they can't get out. I would say like 5 blocks. I've seen them jump 4, plus if they jump on the basket, they're going to get the extra block. So I'd say 5 blocks. And here's 5. All right, that's pretty enclosed. Now we got to plant our raspberries. I'm just going to drop a turkey in there. If you're wondering how to get your turkeys to lure them in, just go and mount them and drop them in. You don't have to like rehatch or anything like that. Just go mount them and I'll show you real quick. So see how I can mount it? You just inspect them and then mount. So we'll do this again. I also use a spawn block just to get out real quick, but we're gonna mount this one and then we're gonna jump over and then drop them in and then reset. And so now we got to do the blueberry farm. So we're going to set that up right here because we have raspberries now. Now we got to set the blueberries. And so we're just going to expand this out. We don't need too many blueberries, but can't really go wrong with a bunch. You don't really have to do too many. I'm doing a bunch. I'm just going to speed through this real quick. So we're going to do the same thing I did for the wheat farm, just smaller. Just a little daisy. Put some totems out. Like I said, we don't need that many, but may as well. This is definitely going to overproduce compared to the turkeys. I just can't find a way to have more turkeys on my farm. It'd be nice if I could have like 5 of them, but I think I need more animal XP. I'm going to speed through this real quick. We're adding another layer to my wheat farm. All right, so let's see how things are going. Yeah, look at these raspberries. They're just not producing the raspberries fast enough. So here's what I'm going to do. Because they're not going to produce fast enough, we're going to go and just do berries manually. Because if they're not going to produce fast enough, then there's no sense in trying to automate the berry aspect, because we're losing sweet pancakes because of these guys. So what we're going to do is we're manually going to process our berry pancakes because we don't need to automate that. So I'm going to go and set these up with output chests instead so we don't lose anything. So I'm going to take all these blueberries. See how the blueberries, they're dropping really fast. So we're losing all these because the raspberries aren't being produced. So let's go ahead and grab that. Let's change the direction of our conveyor. Let's take out the old one, block that off. And now we're going to just put an input output chest right here. That way we can capture all those blueberries from now on. There we go. Now we're going to do the same thing for raspberries just in case. So if the turkeys do somehow produce a bunch of raspberries later, we're not missing any. Now, for the most effective raspberries, you're going to want to spook the turkeys. You need to feed them properly. You need to keep them happy. You should try to use high tier turkeys too. You know, so like tier 2 or tier 3 instead of tier 1s. But that's going to require you to breed your turkeys. Okay, so there's the raspberry. So now we got to do the same. We got to disable this berry food processor. So let's go and replace this with an output chest because we're bottlenecked by those raspberries. So see, we have so many of these. Let's grab those real quick. Look at all those just wasted. All right, so now we got an output chest here so we can collect them later. So you can see how this is pretty slow going as well. You know, for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take away the randomizer. I think the 2 are doing just fine. And if I can increase this to speed this up, then I'll add it back. But for now, we can just get rid of it. So like I said, I'm just going to get rid of the ones that are connected to the randomizer. So let's get rid of the randomizer, switch this to a conveyor, get rid of this thing, block that out. We'll do the same on this one. Bye-bye randomizer, and we'll get rid of this excess here. All right, so the next step for this is obviously we're going to have to add a lot more wheat. This is not as fast as, I mean, 14 is not bad. I just got those, but I want this to go way faster. So we're going to continue to add to the wheat tower because I don't have enough materials for those totem upgrades. But you can see we only have a couple of layers here, and these turkeys are not going fast enough. So, and we got to feed these guys. So make sure you put some berries in with them. And anytime I want to process this, I just, you know, go over here, make my pancakes. Pretty easy. Anyway, so this is definitely a great start. What I'm probably going to do is I'll probably convert this to be an auto seller at some point since I don't really want to sell pancakes to players. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you'll be able to make lots and lots of pancakes with your own auto farms. Let me know how it goes. Definitely like seeing your builds. Look at blueberries. Peace.